This presentation will give you details about 2 group assessments you have to complete during TP1, the group observation reports and the group oral presentation. They are both based on the observations you make. You will spend a lot of time observing other teachers during TP1. These assignments are designed to help you to get the most out of your observations. During TP1, you need to observe at least 2 lessons per day with a range of teachers. The aim of this is to enable you to learn from the best practices that you see and to decide on your own values and approaches to teaching. This presentation will answer all of your questions about the observation-based assignments. Let's begin with the written observation reports. You have to write 4 of these during TP1. That's 1 per week. You will work in groups of 4 or 5 on these reports. You'll be in the same group for all of TP1. There are detailed guidelines provided for you about what to include each week. This presentation will help you to think about how you might approach the task. Each week, every group member needs to observe classes and make notes on the topic for that week. Begin the week by reading through the observation instructions. This will give you an idea about what notes to take during your observations. Towards the middle of the week, you should meet as a group and discuss that topic. There are lots of questions in the guidelines to give you an idea about what to talk about. You need to agree how you're going to split up writing the observation report between you. Each group member needs to contribute to the writing, and then you need to combine these into a single document. You should meet again at the end of the week to check how the work is progressing. Choose a coordinator each week who's responsible for making sure that all the contributions are put together and that the total report is not too long or too short. Remember that you each have to write a short paragraph explaining how you contributed as an individual to the group report that week. Each week, you're given lots of questions to think about that relate to the topic of that week. You do not need to answer every question. These questions are just to give you some ideas about what to think about. Remember that we want to read your reflections on the topic, not just a series of observations. If you're not sure of the difference, check out the reflections presentation that we've put on Moodle for you. Here's an example for you. In week 1 of TP, your observation report will be on classroom procedures. The observation guidelines give you several subtopics and a few questions within each topic. Make sure that you are clear about the topic for the week and what you have to observe. When you meet as a group in the middle of the week, you can use all these questions to help you to structure your discussion. But remember, your report should not simply be a list of answers to each question. It should be a coherent report on the broad topic. You need to decide as a group how you're going to split up the writing of the report. You might find it easiest to take 1 subheading each. You don't need to do it that way. You might have come up with your own subheadings, and that is fine. It's important to look through the marking rubric before you start writing your report. This will give you ideas about what to include. Notice that everyone in the group will receive the same mark, except for the individual part, so you must work together. You are all responsible for each other's work. This is part of developing your professionalism as future colleagues. The marking rubric makes it clear that we're mainly interested in the quality of your observations and your reflections. You can also see that there are marks for making clear connections to the BTC teacher competencies. You don't need to mention every competency in every report, but we would expect you to refer to at least one competency every week. As well as writing the 4 group observation reports, you also need to do 1 group oral presentation. You will do this during your seminar with your supervisor at BTC. The oral presentation will be about behaviour management. Again, you should read through the written instructions carefully. You can use whatever presentation software you want to make your presentation. In fact, you don't have to use any software at all if you can think of a better way to present. But remember, you must make your presentation interactive. Your audience must be involved. That doesn't just mean a question and answer session at the end. It means getting them thinking about what you're saying. How are you going to do that? The written instructions tell you exactly what to include in your presentation, so read through them carefully. You must keep within the time limit. Remember that your presentation must include some solutions to the problem you have identified. Lastly, don't forget the interaction with the audience. As always, you should look carefully at the assessment rubric. This will give you an idea of the sorts of things we're looking for in a good presentation. You will see here that some of the marks for the presentation are group marks. Some of them are individual marks too. We're looking for you to present confidently as future teachers. We expect teachers to be able to involve their audience. Because there are individual marks, you will all need to take part in the presenting. Get started on your first observation report as soon as possible. These assignments are important for you to get most out of your teaching practice. Make sure that you complete 1 report each week and work on your oral presentation from halfway through teaching practice. Your supervisors are looking forward to reading your reflections on the TP experience. Thank you.